What were the legal tender cases? Have you ever wondered how a piece of paper can hold value and be used to pay for goods and services? The legal tender cases provide a fascinating look into this concept during a pivotal time in American history. These cases revolved around the Legal Tender Act of 1862, which was enacted during the American Civil War. This act allowed the federal government to issue paper money, commonly known as greenbacks, and mandated that these notes be accepted as legal tender for all debts. During the Civil War, the government faced a pressing need for funds to support its military efforts. At that time, there was not enough gold and silver available to back the currency. The Legal Tender Act allowed the issuance of these greenbacks without requiring gold backing. This was a major change in the monetary policy of the United States, aimed at stabilizing the economy and ensuring the war could be financed. The main legal question in the legal tender cases was whether Congress had the constitutional authority to declare these paper notes as legal tender for all debts, including those that were contracted before the act was passed. Critics argued that forcing creditors to accept greenbacks, which had lost value compared to gold, violated the Constitution's contract clause and the protections of the Fifth Amendment. The first significant Supreme Court ruling on this matter came in the year 1870 with the case Hepburn v. Griswold. In this case, the court ruled narrowly that the Legal Tender Act was unconstitutional when applied to debts that were contracted before the act. The ruling stated that it impaired the obligation of contracts and violated due process. Chief Justice Salmon P. Chase, who had previously served as Treasury Secretary, wrote the opinion against the act's constitutionality. However, the composition of the Supreme Court changed during President Ulysses S. Grant's administration. In the year 1871, the court revisited the issue in the cases Knox v. Lee and Parker v. Davis. This time, the court reversed its earlier decision and upheld the constitutionality of the Legal Tender Act. The justices recognized that Congress had implied powers to regulate currency, and making greenbacks legal tender was a necessary means to fulfill its fiscal responsibilities, especially during a national emergency like war. Later, in the year 1884, the Supreme Court further confirmed Congress's authority to issue legal tender notes in the case Juilliard v. Greenman. The court ruled that Congress could make paper money legal tender even during peacetime. The legal tender cases ultimately established that Congress has the constitutional power to issue paper money and declare it legal tender for all debts. This authority was vital for financing the Union during the Civil War and played a significant role in shaping the future of currency in the United States. These decisions highlighted the balance between constitutional principles and the practical needs of financing a war, affirming the federal government's broad monetary powers.